Today I'm going to be making for you some sticky toffee pudding. Now, oftentimes when we hear the term pudding, we're thinking something more along the lines of chocolate pudding or a mousse. The exact origins of this dessert are unknown and widely disputed. While people in England say it definitely originated there, others say it came from Scotland, and in fact another tale says that it came from two Canadian Air Force members staying at a hotel in Lancashire, England. Wherever it originated, it is one sticky, gooey, delicious dessert. Sticky toffee pudding is a classic British dessert that consists of a dark, dense sponge cake made with chopped dates and topped with a sweet toffee sauce. Oftentimes it will also be served with some vanilla custard or vanilla ice cream. If you aren't familiar with dates, this is what they look like. They grow on big trees called date palms, and they are native to the Middle East. Dates grow in clusters like grapes about 50 feet off of the ground. So we're very lucky that we can just go ahead and purchase them in the supermarket. So what do they taste like? Well, at a base level, dates are very sweet. If you were to compare the taste of a date to another type of fruit, I would say it's like a bigger, jammier, more caramelly raisin. You can purchase them already pitted. They do come with a pit in the middle. These have already been pitted. And our recipe calls for chopped dates, which you can buy them already chopped. However, they tend to be a little bit drier when you buy them that way. So we're going to buy the whole ones and then chop them ourselves. Let's go ahead and start baking. I have gathered up my mise en place, which includes dates, water, baking soda, butter at room temperature, sugar, salt, baking powder, vanilla, eggs, and flour. I am going to use my microphone for the rest of this demo, so hopefully you can hear me over things buzzing in the kitchen. All right, so our first step is that we're going to have to chop up our dates. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. As I chop them up, I'm going to place them into my saucepan here because I'm going to combine that with water and bring them to a boil to kind of plump our dates back up. Once this comes to a boil, I'm going to take it off of the heat and put it back into my bowl. And then I'm going to stir in baking soda. Baking soda is an alkali and it's caustic, so it starts to break down the skin of the dates, which frees up more sugar for browning. Reached a boil, so I'm going to go ahead and dump these into our bowl. We'll set them aside for later. Now it's time to mix our butter, sugar, salt, baking powder, and vanilla on medium speed until combined. Now it's time to add our eggs in, one at a time, and mixing well to combine. Now we're going to add in half of the flour, then half of the date mixture, mixing well, and then repeating it with the remaining flour and date mixture. You want to make sure that you scrape the bottom and sides of the bowl well. One of the things that's interesting about this batter is that it looks very light, but you'll see once it goes in the oven, it comes out quite dark. We are going to bake our sticky toffee pudding in a bundt cake pan, more specifically a 10-cup bundt cake pan. Now if you don't know what size your bundt cake pan is, you can always fill it up with water and see how many cups it is. This is the one that we're going to be using today. You can see it's quite decorative. They come in many different shapes and sizes. Here's another example of one. And just a simple plain one is fine as well. The shape of the pan doesn't much matter, but we really want to make sure that we prepare our pan well. I'm going to use a pan spray and spray it in. Sometimes I will also use a pastry brush and brush in shortening to make sure that I get it in all of the crevices in here. And don't forget to spray the inside tube. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and empty my batter in. Great, and this is all set to go in a 350-degree oven. Our cake is going to bake for 40 to 45 minutes or until a toothpick comes out cleanly. Then we want to let it rest in the pan for 20 minutes before turning it out. Now it's time to make our sticky toffee sauce, and that consists of brown sugar, heavy cream, vanilla, salt, and butter. The recipe for this sauce makes quite a bit, in fact probably enough for 2 cakes. The first step to our sauce is combining our sugar, butter, cream, and salt in a saucepan over medium-low heat. And we're going to stir it until our sugar is dissolved. At that point, we're going to increase the heat to medium and let it come to a boil. Once it hits that boil, we're going to reduce the heat and let it simmer for 3 minutes without stirring in order to let it reduce. Know that the sugar has dissolved when you no longer feel any graininess when you scrape the bottom of the pan. My sauce has been reducing for 3 minutes. So I just turned off the heat and now I'm going to stir in my vanilla. You can store this sauce at room temperature for up to 4 hours, or you can refrigerate it for up to 1 week. You can reheat the sauce over medium-low heat before serving, or you can heat it in 30-second bursts in the microwave until it's heated through.